What's up, guys? Welcome to the Javier Mendez live streaming live chat. We're just tuning in, getting used to this new thing. Get Coach Hav here. There's Coach Hav. Headphone check. Here we go. They sounded good. Can you hear me?
You hear me now?
Yep. So, yeah, I hear you great.
You can hear me? No, because I can't hear it on here.
Huh.
It's not working.
I hear you.
Well, because you hear me because I'm talking to the speaker there, but there's no noise on here.
Let's see what we can do about that. Is there a volume on the phone where you can hear me?
I can hear you all right. It's not. I can hear you.
Okay. So let's talk about what's up, guys. Of course, yes, Coach Javier's. They like your haircut. Nice, fresh haircut. And Drew W. Hi, Coach.
How's it?
This is like what our live stream is going on, guys. Just getting used to it. But look at this. Send me location. That's what I got to say about live streaming. That's what this is all about. It's about sending the location. And we're here. And let's see. Lower your. Anyways, let's talk about what happened this weekend. I'm going to flash something the moment that Coach is all dialed in here. Hey, Wonka. Hello to Coach Hav and Len. There, you can hear me? We're good? So let's review your clean sweep of the weekend, Hav. Let's see here. Going to look at some of the comments for a section. Hey. Yes, Mondays are great. Is Habib going to Kyrgyzstan? You know what? We'll find out in a second. We will find out in a second. Okay. Hey, what's up, Ronald? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. What's this question here? We're just waiting for Hav to get back online. For Hav to get back. Okay. Yes, on his way to Kyrgyzstan. There's the answer. Well, guys, we're waiting for Coach Hav. But in the meanwhile, let me show you a little clip of Gaji, who scored an amazing knockout this weekend. Remember that, Hav? This is when we saw the knockout power of Gaji before he came over and did it in Bellator. Good, Drew. Thanks for asking. Boom. Look like a young Javier Mendez. Yes. He is pretty fast. Very powerful, too, if you hear those snaps. What's happening, Momo? See your show, too. Basically, that's going to happen. That's going to happen when. What's up, Abdul? Like a clock. Yeah. Yep, you're there. All set.
Yeah.
Okie doke. So we gave a little preview there while we were getting things dialed in. What do you think about Kasan Mago Sharipov? Basically, he's a Beats brother. He looked amazing to me.
Yeah, he just needs more experience. He looked really good, very, very much in control. It's gonna be just like his brother. It's gonna be just like his brother. I think he might be a little heavier though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looked good. He looked pretty crisp to me. So you had a clean sweep, and at any time were you nervous, like during any of the fights, or did you feel pretty confident throughout all of them?
No, I wasn't comfortable and confident. I was concerned about Islam's fight because I knew we had a really tough opponent. Although every fight can be, you know, could go the other way. So, but I was really concerned about that fight more so because I knew the quality of the opposition was very high, and
Yeah.
that was the fight that was the real competition for us. That one.
Well, it was also like that guy was like a rubber man. He was like a spider trap. And he was also the former champ. I mean, he walked in. This is his first fight in that league. It's been a long time since he's done a large crowd like that, or probably, if ever, maybe back in Russia. And then he's up against the rubber man. That guy was the most flexible, super buff guy I've ever seen. That was scary. I felt my heart beating during that fight too.
I was only concerned the first time, maybe the second time, but after that he was too slippery. It was just that wasn't going to happen. But he kept going to the same move over and over again, and I think honestly it played in our favor for him to do that. So that was actually was good for us that he continued to do that because had he used it to get up and do other things, it would have been more of a fight, I thought. Although Saudi Amato, I don't know where he was at. Maybe he was at a boxing match, or something, or maybe a wrestling match. I don't know where that guy was at, but regardless, he seems to be always sleeping on the job.
Yeah, I get you on the decision there. Well, the first fight was pretty. You looked like I saw your corner camera flash to you, and you were like the guy was a hard hitter that Gazi put out, and just to show you that knockout, I mean, it's pretty amazing what he did. We'll relive that one.
Yeah, it's
Boom.
the two punches on the ground that hurt the guy really bad. You can see that the left hook hurt him, but he was still there. He was still there. He was still in the fight. But the last two punches really put him out, and it was a lot of concern for him. Habib was kneeling over him, helping him, because he was really concerned for his health, and that was one of those situations where you kind of wish maybe the ref could have been in there a little sooner. It's kind of hard to put yourself in that situation because, being the ref, I'm sure that he was going to be on there as soon as possible. But, as you notice, he's going down, he's going right to it. And see that the ref should have stopped it right there before that. But how do you know? It's a tough call being the ref. So I can honestly say the ref did a good job, but he could have stopped it before he got hit with any shots because that was a good shot he hit him with.
That was a good one. And then Usman made his look like a walk in the park. I mean, he was having a fight. The guy was game though. Were you concerned the guy was just going to try to crowd him? They kept saying in the build up like, hey, he's going to try to trap him in a phone booth, like try to shut down his weapons. But I don't think getting Usman in the phone booth is very easy to do to get him caught
It
there.
wouldn't. It didn't matter. The game plan was to do whatever he wanted. There was no restrictions on Usman. This one was do what you want. I don't care. Ground, stand up, whatever you want to do. We knew he was going to beat him everywhere. They didn't know that, but we knew that. We know. Habib and I know how good his cousin is, and so we were very confident that what ended up happening happened. I told Habib it doesn't matter what he does is going to be spectacular, and whatever he does is going to be spectacular because and it's not like I have a crystal ball. He's doing it in practice over here. So if I'm seeing it in practice, it's kind of hard not to see it in the real fight, especially when the opposition is tough but just not skilled enough to deal with the level of Usman. And the opponent was super super tough, just not skilled enough for him. That's what I thought anyways, and Habib thought the same thing. And so I wasn't surprised that he did what he did. I didn't know how he was going to finish him. I didn't know if he was going to finish him. I just knew he was going to outclass him.
Yeah, I have a replay of that. We could take a look at it real quick. Got it from Bellator stream there. Let's take a look. Well, that's the aftermath. Let's see the beginning. What do we got here? Go to the beginning video.
You can see, oh, he hit him with the left knee real close in the
Right
stomach.
there. Like right again. Boom.
Yeah. We were in the elevator with Manny, and he said that that he hit his chest hurts really bad, so he kind of hit him up on the oblique in the chest cavity area, and that's what dropped him. I mean, it's just a common Muay Thai move, and Usman's really good at Muay Thai, so he's been doing that since he was a young boy. While Habib was grappling, Usman was doing Muay Thai with their Muay Thai coach back home. So he's a striker. He's first primarily he's a striker, but he can do it all.
That's a nasty shot. I mean, he just nailed him, and it looks like somebody that knew how to hit a pressure point or a certain area. But I think he's just so crisp. Anything he delivers, even from a short distance, has all the power and precision as
Well,
anybody that's a real
he
expert.
kind of brought his leg back a little bit. He separated. He turned his hip in, and as you brought the power, so it wasn't a really close in tight. It may have appeared that way, but he put some clearance between his hips to be able to deliver a hard shot. And again, it went straight up and this area here, boom, and it was a beautiful shot. Um, like I said, that's what they do. They're good strikers. Him and Umar are very good strikers, and no surprise there for me on them being proficient in striking. Not saying that I was expecting a stoppage, just saying the proficiency of both brothers. I already knew. I knew what I had because they came in that way with me. All I've done is just brush up, their technique a little bit, but they're already sharp. If you notice with Usman, he hit him with some really good shots to the head with the kicking. Very, very bouncing off the head, so it was very close. You're like, wow, a little bit lower, and that thing would have been over with that head kick. I mean, he's an amazing kicker, an amazing striker for MMA, and he's an amazing grappler. So you got your hands full with him. Actually, with all Team Eagle guys, you got your hands full. You're not going to be able to just come in there and have a strategy for these guys that's going to be 100% efficient because they're so good at everything.
I got a question here from Abdul Haram. Hey, coach, how was Habib's coaching this time? Did he give you a chance to speak?
Very professional. Habib would go in and do his talking, and then he'd say, "Coach, your turn." So then I would speak. He's been doing that from like uh, 2 fights ago. The time he didn't let me speak is when Abu Bakr fought. Then after that, he let me speak. He corrects everything that he makes little errors on. What he did on this one here, he stood up. When the things were getting good, and I put my hands on him to bring him down because you're not allowed to stand up. You're not allowed to rush out of our little box. And since you're the chief second, which I was appointed chief second, it's my responsibility to calm my guys down and not let them get out of control. But Habib was extremely nervous because that's his family out there fighting, and he's got a lot of passion, a lot of love for those guys. So yeah, it was kind of rough on him a little bit, especially with Islam's fight that was so close, and yeah, he was spent. He spent a lot of time, giving all his energy, and it was a rough go for him. 3 fights in a row like that. It was pretty rough.
Here's a question for both of us. Coach and Len, in your opinion, how does Bellator fighting atmosphere compare to UFC? I'll give you my opinion. I think the production value as a guy that does videos and stuff and always working on getting better, I can see they put a lot of work into it. I think they had a more exciting card, but it wasn't apples for apples because UFC had an Apex show, which isn't their biggest deal, and there's no audience. And this was definitely like a tentpole event. How was it being there, Hav? Was it live? Was it packed over at the Bellator fights?
No, it wasn't super packed. It had people there, but it wasn't like I don't know what the capacity was, but it looked like there was anywhere from 8 to 10,000 people. I think. I know the bottom bowl was fairly packed, but the thing is, I'm rushed in and out, so I didn't really get to examine, look at the crowd. And with being with Habib, especially with Habib, we couldn't walk around slow. We had to walk quick because if he walks down slow, we would have got swarmed. And but I didn't really get to look at the crowd as much as I'd like to have with the AJ McKee. I'm sorry, the main event Pitbull. That's the only time I was out there, and we got it at the very very end. We didn't get there early. We got at the very end when the fight was starting. That way we'd have less opportunity. Because we wanted to have just as little bit enough time to watch the fights, and then we had to get out because we had other engagements he had to go address. But being around Habib during these times is pretty hectic because he's not the normal thing where you can just walk around. I could just walk around. With him, you can't just walk around. It's a little bit difficult.
I mean, even at AKA, it's like that. Jeez, people pop up. Here's an interesting question from a key 1187. How was coaching with Mark Henry? What do you think of Mark Henry as a coach? I guess coaching around or next to or sharing the space is a better question, right?
But yeah, I've never coached with Mark Henry, but he's a brilliant coach. His guys love him, and there's a reason why they love him because he's really good. He's like a family guy. He's an exceptional coach. He's one of the best. For darn sure, he's one of the best. He's right up there with all the best.
Wasn't he speaking Russian in one of your videos? He was speaking
Yeah,
Russian,
he makes
Habib.
me he makes me look bad because he can actually speak a lot of words where I can only speak minimal.
Let's see. What is this? Question for Coach and Len Dempsey. Do you think Islam and Usman could be Bellator UFC 155 champs at the same time? How crazy would that be? Do they spar each other? That's an interesting
Of course, they
question.
spar each other, but that is never going to happen. They're brothers. They may not be related, but they're brothers. They'll never fight.
No, no, no.
That'll never
I
happen.
think they mean concurrently, like Bellator and the UFC, holding the belt at the same time in different
Oh, I thought you
organizations.
thought Islam. I thought you talking Islam Mamedov, because
No, no, no.
Mamedov is a 155er and he's with Bellator,
Like
and he could
Makachev and
easily
Usman. Yeah.
yeah. I thought you talked Mamedov because Mamedov could actually win the Bellator title too. So that's what I thought he was saying. Like if they both win, the 155, I go, well, that won't fight. But yeah, I think honestly that that's more likely what you're gonna see. They're both gonna hold the titles, at one point. And Islam first, and Usman will probably be second because he's still got a little bit of growing to do. He's still got a year and a half, 2 years before we see him. He's in no hurry either. So yeah, I think a year and a half, 2 years for Usman. Islam, anytime he can fight for the title now and win, and will win.
So this one's from Zafros Javier Mendez. Islam versus RDA or Islam versus Tony? What's your vote? What do you pick?
RDA, because I don't think Tony is going to give us anything that we need to get the title. I don't think that fighting Tony is going to justify a title now at this stage because Tony's in a three-fight skid, and they're not going to do that. And RDA has won his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. So RDA, hands down, I think there's no question about it. And for that reason, that very same reason, it's going to give us closer to a title shot, and it would qualify. Uh, Fighting Tony doesn't qualify. It's just a fun fight for the fans.
Okay, this is another interesting. Okay, this is. Hey, Coach, what was your favorite food when you visited Dagestan? Do you remember which one it was? Or did they tell you what it
Uh,
was?
no, they didn't tell me what it was. There's just a lot of meats, a lot of different type meats. So they have great food. I love their food. Hospitality is incredible. Food's incredible. Hospitality is incredible. And it's where the capital city, Mahachkala. It's a big city. It's got a million plus people there. So it's not a small city. For those that think Habib's from the village, etc. That's all he has. No, he has like two. He's got two villages. One not so high in the mountains, and one called the mountain village. So you can imagine that one's really high in the mountains. And you've probably seen it on videos. But the capital city is where Habib also has his gym, and the big gym, and that's where I think he spends most of his time. And I could be wrong on that because he does have three homes over there.
So here's one. Well, Islam versus GSP, is that going to happen because Islam's like Habib and Habib is retired?
Uh, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, is GSP going to wait another year or two before something like that could even be interesting to him? I mean, GSP's got to have interest in it. And it's not that we wouldn't be interested. Of course we would, but would GSP at 42 or 43 be interested when that time comes? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's something that we just have to wait and see.
Okay, let's see. Um, can Islam beat McGregor? Creative thinking.
100% yes. No question, no doubt. 100% yes.
Oh, let's see. Did you ask Habib about the Octazone shirt? Remember that shirt that you wanted that Usman was wearing? Did he ever get you one of those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, the Octazone actually contacted me, and they said they want that they said, "Oh, we're sorry, coach. We're gonna send you shirts." I go, "No, it's okay." I just said I just did it as a joke. I don't. You guys don't have to send me the shirts. So it was more of a fun thing because I play with the guys. A lot of times you guys see things on Instagram. Don't take everything as the real deal. Some of it is just made up, just for fun.
I got a fun one here. This
For
was
Coach Javier Mendez.
Javier Mendez. My opinion, Javier Mendez is better.
Has Khabib always had the same haircut?
Yes, all his life.
so apparently I had to save that. That was such a great little interview. You have the best haircut. We've kind of put that to rest. All our videos have been tied to your haircut, and it looks like Usman's on your team. And he made it. The media keeps going Coach Habib, which is Coach Habib, but he's like, no, Javier's my coach, and Habib's there to corner me and a coach. So it's kind of like, it's interesting. It's not like anyone's trying to throw you back, but they know that that's a good hook for the headlines. You know.
Well, it's like this, okay? Habib, when he was fighting, was still coaching. That's what
Yep.
people don't get. Now that all of a sudden he's not fighting, they're focusing on him coaching. But while he was fighting, they didn't say nothing about him coaching. He was coaching back then. He was working people's corners and learning the ropes and getting good at it. And now he happens to be great at coaching. But when he was fighting, he still was doing it. After he done sparring, and he's out there with me side by side, well, even when him and his father was alive, we'd be together, helping the guys learn and improve. Habib's been doing that since he first started coming over here and started speaking English. He started helping all the guys in their sparring and cornering. So these guys coming around saying, new coach Habib. Habib's been a coach forever, bro, and he's been a leader forever. And the thing of it is, what Usman did is just acknowledge that the way it really has been and it always has been is I've been the head coach, and Habib does run the guys like he's always run the guys. So he's more of the leader than I am, but I am the head coach. I do come up with the game plans and I do physically train them, but so does Habib. But what I'm saying is that there's nothing different that Habib's doing now than what he was doing before. The only difference is now he's not fighting, so he has more time devoted to the crew. And he does an unbelievable job. And I personally think he should get Coach of the Year. Personally, even though I'm head coach, it doesn't matter. He's still his coaching is impeccable. He's just unbelievable. He should get Coach of the Year.
I agree with you. Quick questions from Phil Chernitsky. Derek Lewis or Cyril Gain? Very interesting fight. Two top tier heavyweights. How do you see that going?
I think Derek Lewis' only chance, in my opinion, is to hurt Cyril. I don't think he's got a prayer otherwise. I think I shouldn't say it in those words because Derek's got enormous power and he can hit you one time and clean your clock. But I think that Cyril's just too gifted in all those areas. And my prediction is I think Cyril Gahn is going to be the next heavyweight champ. This fight here don't count as anything to me other than the number one spot. There's no interim in my eyes. And
Hmm.
In my eyes, the real champ is Ngannou. I'm gonna say in my eyes, that's all this is to me. Number one contender, not champ. Interim champ? What does that mean? It means nothing. It means nothing to me because number one, Ngannou can fight. It's just contract negotiations, and once they get those things out of the way, which they will, then it's all going to be about the winner of this going to go up against the real champ, Ngannou, and that's it. Call it a title because it creates more interest, but what does it do? It's still an interim title. Just like when Dustin he fought and he won the interim title and he fought Habib, but who was the champ? Nobody looked at Dustin as the champ. Even Dustin didn't look at himself as the champ. How can you be the champ when the champ, you know, was Habib? And in this case, with Habib's case, it was I don't remember exactly what the visa issues. There was a lot of issues involved, and that's why he couldn't fight Dustin. And in this case here, it's a contractual type of situation where negotiations have to be made between the UFC and Ngannou. So to me, it's the same. It's not. I don't. It's not interim title to me. It's not legit. This is basically the number one contender spot, and interim title creates more interest, I guess. But for me, I just look at this as the winner is going to be the mandatory for the real title.
I think Derek Lewis is he's the hammer. I know that Ngannou was afraid of him. He didn't want to get near him when they fought. That was the first guy that he looked afraid of. Everybody else, he chases him down like, get out of my way. That was so. We'll see how this goes. Cyril is very relaxed in there, how you like your fighters to be, and very technical, very skilled, and undefeated, pretty much. So that's what you got. Um, NAFTA, Polaris. What do you think they should allow MMA in the Olympics? Do you think that would be a cool thing to do, or pretty cool for all the countries to fight in MMA in the Olympics? What do you think
I
of?
think it would be unbelievable. I think MMA in the Olympics will be bigger than boxing because the whole world participates in MMA more than anything because it relates to so many arts, judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, taekwondo, Muay Thai. They're all combined together, all elements. So it's going to create a wide variety of interest for many fans. And if I'm not mistaken, the Muay Thai just got accepted into the Olympics as a trial. So we'll be seeing Muay Thai in the Olympics very soon. So MMA to me would be the biggest interest out of all the fighting arts.
And we get another question. Is Habib and the team still in the U.S.? I think I asked you earlier, but you can tell the fans. They kind of take off, right?
No, they left. They left yesterday. They're all home. They should be home by now.
So you're looking at going overseas to coach them for upcoming events, possibly Bellator first or Abu Dhabi, something over there?
Nah, well, I'm looking to go back to Dagestan to train the team because I'm the head coach over there. So I'll see what I have. And we have fights going on all the time. We got the UAE Warriors. We got the Eagles Fighting Championships. We got the October, I think October 23rd in Moscow with Usman and under one of Fedor's last fights, or is the last fight? I'm not sure, but it's in Moscow. Then we have the UFC in Abu Dhabi. I think at October. I think they're starting over there. So we got a lot of things going on. So I'll be traveling back and forth. So I'm assuming I'm going to be at least 3 to 4 different countries within the next 2 to 3 months.
What is your prediction for Usman versus Covington number two?
I think Usman's pound for pound at the present time the best fighter in the world, and I think he's getting so much confidence, and I don't see anybody catching him anytime soon. I think what he did to Covington last time he's going to do sooner this time, unless I'm mistaken, and Covington has improved tremendously, which could happen. But since I haven't seen his improvement and I have seen Usman's improvement, Kamaro's just going to destroy anybody right now that comes up against him right now. He's going to destroy everybody. He is so good. I mean, he's so goddamn confident that he feels that he can beat Canelo in a boxing match. And when you talk like that and he actually means it, you're going to be hard to beat. He's going to be hard to beat, really hard to beat, really, really hard to beat right now. And I don't see it happening. I see an exciting fight, but I see him taking care of business the way he needs to.
Now, what is this question? This is all about fighting. Coach, when's the last time you ate tacos? Greetings from Philip.
The tacos. Let's see. Last week.
Last week? I missed those. I
Yeah.
don't have good ones out here. All we have is barbecue. So, do you have any other upcoming fights? Any other fighters in the queue right now that are like Kyle Crutchmer, Mark Climaco? Who's looking to be your next local fighters out of AKA?
Kyle Krishmer's looking to fight in October. I don't know where. Deron Wynn, I don't know when he's looking to fight. Alejandro Perez is fighting, I believe, September 3rd or 4th, somewhere like that, either September 3rd or 4th in Las Vegas. Let's see. Daniel Allen's looking to fight at the UAE Warriors. Mo Alarak is another of my other guys. He's looking to fight at UAE Warriors. Um, let's see, Mark Climaco and Ernesto Ancona. They're both fighting in Combate, I believe, September 17th. We've been confirmed to fight, but we don't have an opponent yet. Both of those guys should do good. And then Shane Keefe will be fighting here in September in Bellator here in San Jose. I don't know what date that's going to be, but I think it's going to be the 20 something, the last week of September, I believe, is Bellator here. I'm not sure on the date though. I could be wrong on the date, but I am sure that Shane Keefe will be fighting. And also, I have Enrique Barzola. He's going to be fighting in another Bellator event coming up in the bantamweight division.
This is a question, and I'll basically, it's like Eamon Breika right here. Are you happy with Bellator's recent success? At the same time, somebody asked, how do you feel? And I'm taking this from the other page, having all three guys win in the same night. What's that feel like?
Well, it feels great, but I've been doing it so long now that it's almost like a job well done, and I'm so happy for the guys. But I don't let it stress me out when we don't win, and I don't let it over overemphasize happiness when we do win. Of course, I'm happy, but I've done it so much that it's kind of like, okay, on to the next one, on to the next one. It's kind of funny. I don't know how to explain how I feel about them now. I feel obviously very happy when we win, and because when we don't win, it's sad because you look at it in one of your fighters that you spent all that time with, and things didn't go their way, or they needed that money to support their family. Because a lot of these guys put themselves in a situation where they have to sacrifice fighting to support their livelihood because they can't do a normal job and train the way they need to. So it's a very difficult thing to be a fighter, and those that fight understand. And those that don't only hear about it. They'll hear about people going, I'm starving, I this and that, and you kind of don't really understand. But I do understand when I hear fighters say, "Man, that was my last paycheck," or this and that. If you guys remember with Nate Diaz before he got called up to fight Conor McGregor, he was on his last legs a little bit. Then he got that big giant boost in pay, unsuspecting, and he rose to the occasion. And that's what fighters do. They rise to the occasion when things like that happen. And some unfortunately don't get that opportunity to rise to the occasion. They fall short, and the ones that fall short, the ones that break your heart. So I've been in that department quite a few times too.
Here's a very, very important question. Will you ride dirt bikes with Islam when you're in Dagestan?
Hell no, and I won't even drive. I won't ride dirt bikes here either. So, Dagestan, you name it. Jet skis, okay, I'm cool. Dirt bikes, hell no, not especially not with Islam.
Yeah, they're into some pretty aggressive stuff. I mean, he's like the Dagestan
No,
cowboy
that's
Cerrone.
some crazy stuff. Yeah, no, I ain't playing with that. Yeah, exactly. He might be a little bit more crazy than Cowboy. Maybe. I'm not sure because Cowboy's pretty crazy, but he's right up there with him. Let's put it that way.
Hamid Heiger, when will Umar be fighting again?
Soon, he's still rehabbing his leg from the surgery he had, so he's not 100% yet. So the UFC will not put a fight on your on your program, not your program, on your docket. I guess they won't give you a fight unless you're healthy, 100%. Give clean the health from the doctor. He's not 100%. He's still rehabbing. He's getting close, and sometimes they goose around a little bit. Like I filmed them when we were up in Los Angeles. He was goofing around with Zubaira. They do this stuff all the time. And I filmed them, and Umar's talking about his knee. Hey, bro, my knee. And they're speaking in Russian, but I hear the injured thing, and I tell Umar, I go, Umar, why'd you wrestle? Oh, because he challenged me. I go, it doesn't matter. I go, you got to take care of your body. Don't be doing that stuff anymore. I go, and I filmed it and I put it on. It's on the Instagram, and I did it on purpose, and I'm going to talk to you about it. And we're talking about it now. I go, these are not some of the things you should be doing. This is the things that delay your progress to get back in the cage. And he understood. He's a great kid. I love him to death, and I'm definitely, and we as fans and friends, you're definitely going to see him become, the bantamweight UFC champion of the world. You will 100% see that. He will get that title. Umar will get that title, guaranteed.
How was it hanging out with Grandma Habib? You got a beautiful picture of you. I even posted on the channel. She seems like a sweetheart. Her commitment, waiting out in
I
110
don't
degree
know.
weather. Good.
Yeah, I wasn't there when that happened there, so I was pretty impressed with her. I did see her at Bellator. She came up to me and she wanted to take a picture. I took a picture with her. She made me feel really welcome. Felt really really good inside. It just she's the kind of fan, because she's in the later stages of her life, that people like myself really feel really comfortable and appreciated. Because most of the elders don't pay attention to what to do there. They'll go, what do they do? Oh, what is that? But she knew, and she knew everything. And she's a huge Habib fan, and the Dagestani Team Eagle fan, and she's a fan in general. And she's super nice. I mean, it's awesome, an incredible feeling to have someone like that, look up to you and really appreciate the work you put in. And she did that. So I put it on my Instagram also because I felt very good about how she made me feel.
Yeah, they said, is she part of the Eagle squad now from Sohail Khan? Which basically, I guess so. We'll probably see her again if Habib or Dana or Scott want her at the promotion. Looks like she's in.
She's gained quite a following. I mean, she only has a few posts, but I mean, she's killing it as far as people following her. I think she's got, last I checked, she might have like 4,500 followers with like 9 posts. I mean, hell, it took me hundreds of posts before I got to 4,500 followers. I got hundreds of posts. She did it with 9.
Oh, there was a good one. That's not the question I wanted to ask. Oh, everyone's going this. Tell us your Instagram name, Coach, aka Hav, right? I'll have to put that out there.
Yeah.
I think I have. Where is it? I'll just put it down here. Let me see. Yeah, right there. Follow aka Hav on Instagram, which is way bigger than the channel. We want the channel to grow. Speaking of which, we are within like a couple hundred of hitting 80,000. For me, it's one goal. Like some numbers don't feel comfortable. 80 would feel good. 100 ideal. But as you say, Coach, a million or bust. And I'm with you on that. Would love to see that. So let's say on that too. Let's just add to that. I wanted to just show you another thing here. I think I showed all the videos pretty much. We saw all the finishes. Do you think Usman's going to be fighting on the Bellator card on in Russia?
100%.
You think there's a good chance?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
No, 100% he's on. No good chance. 100% he's on, unless he's injured for whatever reason or the show gets canceled. But he's in 100%. What I'm not 100% sure is on Gaji or Islam Abadov. I'm not sure about them, but I'm 100% sure on Usman is on. He's a star. I mean, when you have a star like him, he's well spoken. He's very articulate. You put him on. You put him on. He's fun to watch. Fun to watch. He's had 2 fights with Bellator, both exciting. One 3-round excitement. The other one was a 1-round destruction. But he finishes you. That's why I call him the finisher. If he's got you in trouble, he finishes you. You don't stick around. He finishes you, and that's what he did.
So, Coach, who's got the strongest mentality out of your current fighters? Would you say maybe by rank of all your squad right now? Mindset.
For me, the strongest is Umar. Umar. Islam actually, Islam might have him beat, but I only say Umar because I know more about Umar than I do Islam. Islam's very quiet, very quiet. But let's just say probably for the fact that Islam's been doing it longer, I would say probably Islam's probably the strongest. Then Umar. Umar for definitely sure second, if not number one. It very well could be Islam number one, but it's those two. Let's put it that way. Those two.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. Those are the guys. It's hard for me to tell. You're around them more than me, and then you can kind of gauge. Islam is the quiet guy, but Umar definitely shows the focus and just like a clock, right? Never messes around. Let's see what other questions we have here.
No, he doesn't.
No. So somebody asked, when are you going back to Dagestan? I think, did you say anything about that earlier?
Yes. Well, not 100%, but I think September I'm in Dagestan.
And that should be fun. Is it going to be cold this time of year?
Decently cold, yes. How cold, I don't know.
Okay, now here's another question. Samullah Khan, Coach, do you believe Islam striking is better than Habib's? Interesting question.
Um, Overall striking, yes. Better boxing. How Habib used to put together the boxing, I would say a little bit behind. Habib's boxing was pretty damn good at the very end there. Just people never got to see it because I was always on him to grapple instead of punch because he was so dominant on the ground and but overall being able to use more weapons. Islam is the most proficient out of all of them. Grappling, the whole combo. Islam's the most well rounded. But as far as the actual just striking on the boxing level, out of all them, I have to put Habib number one.
This is a great question from Dre W. Coach and Len, you go first. Whatever. What's your most memorable fight in MMA and why? Which fight, especially you as a coach, because that's more impactful than me. I'll tell you as a fan after. Which ones were like the most like highlighted
My
fights?
most number one was when I had Frank Shamrock and we fought Tito Ortiz way back in the day, and Tito outweighed us by enormous amount of weight. And basically, the whole plan was to get Tito early if we could, submit him. But if he was too strong, the whole thing was to weather him out, get him tired, and submit him later in the fights because we weren't going to be able to win a decision on him because he was just too strong. So that was my most memorable fight as a coach by far.
What about with your going on like your next other like in Kane winning the heavyweight belt? That was probably one of your most significant ones, or beating Brock. I think we talked about that one.
No, Kane beating Brock was second. That was the second best one, but the first most like, rewarding one was the Frank Shamrock against Tito Ortiz. That was the most rewarding, most excitement. For me, that was definitely Kane and Brock Lesnar.
And then how did Habib's rate up there? His fight with Connor or his last fight? How were those? Just so many fights now that you've been a coach, you're kind of acclimated. You're like expecting the results or what?
Well, that one, to be honest with you, I can't really comment on how great it could have been because, what happened after the fight. So I didn't really get the good feeling of that because it went from feeling great to all of a sudden fearing like what the hell's going to happen. The whole mob's coming after us. I mean, they were throwing beer at us. They were throwing everything, obscenities, you name it. Everything was coming our way. So I can't really say I was fully charged positively on that one. I was really my defense alert was on full radar on that one. So that one I didn't get a chance to enjoy. That was more of, defensive, look around you everywhere because you never knew what was going to happen. You could get sucker punched, someone could come and hit you with something. That was a very volatile situation. So I cannot, and I do not put that one in that category because that's what this was. That was very volatile. Now, during the fight, was it exciting? Absolutely. But you couldn't say anything more because like I said, when it finished, it wasn't too long before the fiasco happened that it was more like protect yourself at all times.
For me, I guess because I knew Chuck early in his career, seeing him become the champion was exciting after losing to Randy and making his comeback. But as of recently, all of Habib's fight have been the most exciting ones to me. That's kind of where I'm at. Um, what is your favorite time to goof around with the fighters, Hav?
What is my favorite time? Oh, it's always before a workout or after a workout.
Catching them at the front desk?
No, not necessarily the front desk, just before a workout or after a workout.
Wow. So it's been we've had quite a few people in here. I'm waiting to see another question or two. Um, so is there anybody that you're training hard for the rest of the week, or you're just taking a
Um,
break?
no, there's Mo. There's Mark Climaco, Daniel Allen, and Romero Cotton. Be training all this month, and then there's the whole team. I'm here for the whole team, but those specifically guys that I personally work one on one with.
So here's an interesting question. What is the best martial arts sport to start a kid at 5 to 7 years old?
That all depends on what you want. If you're looking for that kid to one day, become an MMA fighter, then wrestling or jiu-jitsu is the best one. If you actually not, if you're even looking for self-defense, then you want to self-defense, you want jiu-jitsu. Hands down jiu-jitsu for self-defense. Competitive, it could be jiu-jitsu or wrestling. If of course you want them to box, of course boxing. Of course, if you want them to kickbox, of course kickboxing. So, if you want self-defense, jiu-jitsu. If you want to be an MMA fighter, at one point, wrestling or jiu-jitsu, either one is fine. But you're gonna have to learn both.
This is an interesting question. Now, the people I was going to talk about this. Like someone goes, Len, where do you get your largest audience from for the channel? And I just looked the other day, and our biggest following is Russia, India, England, Germany, Indonesia, and so forth. That's kind of what we got going on. Does that surprise you that most of our fans are from all over the world for your channel?
No, because that's all Habib territory. I mean, Habib is the number one reason why people know me. He's the number one reason why I'm known worldwide. I'm not known for my other champions. I'm known a little bit, but hey, the credit is given to the credit where it's due, and it's hands down Habib. I'm connected to Habib more than I am any fighter, even though I was really well connected to Cain Velasquez, as I still am. But people as a whole don't know me for anybody other than Habib. And as it stands, it's still going to be Habib and I because he's coaching with me, and he promised me that he's going to be with Islam and Usman and Umar. And then that's also going to include Abu Bakr, and it's going to also include Zubaira. So there's five people that I know for darn sure he's going to be in the corner with me. So him and I are going to be linked together even more so because I am very confident to say that out of all those guys, we're going to bring up three champions, either three UFC champions, or we're going to bring two UFC champions, one Bellator champ, or maybe more Bellator champs. But out of those guys, we're going to get three champions for sure.
So, oh, I agree with you 100%. Somebody said wrestling. I guess that's if you want to build them towards MMA. I'd say it has the center base for growing. Um, let's see. One more quick question here. What do you think about South African MMA? Do you know of any fighters from there?
No, but it's South African MMA could be a booming, great place to start because there's a lot of great athletes over there, and they're probably hungry for it, the competition. So and then there's also the folk style. They do a kind of wrestling over there now where some of these guys are huge celebrities, and some of those guys can enter the MMA realm, and they'll do fantastic. I think it just hasn't been tapped like it needs to be. I mean, as it stands now, you got Camaro, you got Israel Adesanya, and you got Ngannou. You got three African champions, and those three alone going to motivate millions more to participate. So I think we just seen the beginning of more stars from Africa. The beginning. It's just the beginning. Man, I can't hear you now.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Does Islam lack ground and pound like Habib, and should he work on it, or do you feel like he's always using that opportunity to work more towards a submission? I think.
They're different. They're different. Habib works ground and pound like nobody I've ever seen. Islam's different with his ground and pound. He's more methodical, looking for the submission. Habib's looking more for the punishment. He doesn't go hunt the submission as much as Islam does. So they both have different approaches. They both work ground and pound, but I would say Habib likes punishing you more than Islam does. Islam will work the ground and pound to secure a submission, as you guys have seen. And he's a master at that, and Habib's a master at the hurting you with the ground and pound, probably better than anybody I've ever seen.
Well, I think it's been a pretty good show, Hav. I know you get to catch up. You've put out a lot of energy. Maybe rest up, hang out with the family. Any other plans for the rest of the week?
No, just train the guys.
Well, we'll do this again. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure to let us hit 80,000 subscribers. Thank you for coming on, Hav. It was great. It was nice to talk to everybody, and congratulations on your wins for this weekend.
All right, man.
Bye.